Faith in Motion for You presents Moses and the Exodus from Egypt. Imagine this. You're standing at the edge of a mighty sea with waves crashing like thunder before you. Suddenly, in the distance, you hear it. The pounding of hooves, the clash of armor, the roar of soldiers on horseback drawing near. Behind you, the ground shakes. Pharaoh's army is charging closer. And in front of you, nothing but endless water. The people scream. The waves crash, but one man steps forward. His name is Moses. He raises his staff toward the heavens, and then sea splits into two, making way for people to pass. The impossible happens. But how did they get here? Let's go back to where their story actually began. More than 2,000 years, to a land of pyramids where the sun blazed over golden deserts, where mighty pyramids touched the heavens and kings ruled with absolute power. But beneath the glory and gold, there was pain. A people enslaved, their backs bent under the weight of cruel labor, their voices rising day and night in desperate prayer. They built Pharaoh's cities under the burning sun, their backs aching, their hearts heavy. Yet even through their tears, they whispered prayers to heaven. Mothers wept for their children. Fathers cried out for deliverance. Generation after generation, they waited. Until one day, one fine day, when the cries of the helpless reached the heavens and God heard their cry. The chains of silence were broken, and destiny began to move. Not far away, under a glowing desert sunset, Moses gently was guiding his sheep across the rocky hills, and the golden light reflecting off the distant mountains. A darkening desert landscape as storm clouds gather over distant mountains. The once golden light of sunset fades into deep shadows, and it became complete dark. Moses saw something strange, something unlike anything he had ever seen before. The light around him began to dim, the air grew still, and there before his eyes stood a bush engulfed in flames, yet the fire did not burn it away. As he stepped closer, a voice thundered from the flames. "Moses, I have heard my people's cries. Go to Pharaoh, tell him to let my people go." Moses fell to his knees. "But Lord, I'm not strong enough." "You don't need to be when I am with you," said the God. Those words lit a fire inside Moses, greater than any flame he had ever seen. The challenge before Pharaoh. Moses stood in Pharaoh's grand palace, a place where pride gleamed brighter than gold. Guards lined the walls, silent and still. Incense curled through the air, thick with power and fear. But Moses did not bow. He stood tall, holding the staff of God. Moses raised his staff high. His voice echoed through the golden hall. "Let my people go." Pharaoh threw back his head and laughed, a cold, cruel sound that echoed through the palace. "Never," he sneered. "Egypt bows to no one, not even your God." Then God showed his might. The rivers bled red, frogs leapt through homes, thunder cracked the heavens, darkness fell like a curtain, Egypt trembled. Finally, Pharaoh's pride shattered like glass. His voice thundered through the palace. "Go! Take your people and leave!" The golden halls fell silent. Even the guards stepped back. Moses turned without a word and walked toward freedom. And so began the greatest escape in history. The chase to the Red Sea. Under the silver moon, thousands of Israelites followed Moses through the desert. Their hearts were filled with hope until they heard the rumble behind them. But Pharaoh had changed his mind. His pride flared once more. "Bring them back," he roared. The desert trembled. Freedom was just a few steps ahead, but danger was closing in fast. Chariots thundered, soldiers shouted, chasing the Israelites. Ahead, only water. A vast, endless sea stretched beneath the moonlight. Waves whispered of danger. The path was gone. Mothers clutched their children. Fathers looked to Moses, and Moses looked to heaven. Behind, an angry army. No way forward, no way back. The sea blocked their path. The army closed in. Panic rippled through the crowd. Cries, gasps, trembling hands. Children clung to their parents. And in the chaos. But Moses lifted his voice, steady and sure. "Do not be afraid, stand still and watch what the Lord will do." Then Moses stretched out his staff. A silence fell. The wind began to stir, soft at first, then rising like a storm sent from heaven. It roared across the water, parting in two towering walls of blue. A path of dry land appeared between them, glowing under the moonlight. Step by step they walked through, children clutching their parents' hands, waves glittering beside them. The people gasped in awe. Then came Pharaoh's army, thundering behind them with horses and chariots, like a mighty lion chasing a young deer. But suddenly, something extraordinary happened. A miracle beyond imagination, something no one could have dreamed of. The waters came crashing down like thunder. The waves shimmered like molten silver as Moses lifted his staff high toward heaven. The sea returned to its place, and the Israelites were safe by his grace. His voice rang across the sea, strong and full of joy. The Lord is my strength, my song, and my victory. He has shattered our chains and led us into freedom. As morning light spread over the desert, the Israelites stood free on the far shore. They were no longer slaves. They were God's free people. The story of Moses isn't just about the past. It's a promise that God has made to his people. The promise which says, when you feel trapped by fear, when life feels impossible, when the weight of the world feels too heavy to carry, remember this: the same God who parted the sea for Moses can easily make a way for you. He can carve a path through the impossible. He can open ways where none exist. For the God who parted the sea still makes a way today. He can turn your biggest battles into your greatest victories. And sometimes all he asks is for you to stand still, pray, and believe in him. And trust him completely with no doubts thought and felt. Because the same God who made a way for Moses can make a way for you too, without any further questions and doubts. Like, share, and subscribe to your channel Faith in Motion for You, where every story reminds us that God still makes a way for you. Just trust in him is all you need. But the story doesn't end here. Next time on A Faith in Motion for You, discover the rise and fall of the strongest man who ever lived, Samson and Delilah, a story of strength, love, and redemption.